Hi guys, in this video we are going to talk about how do you find a principal that was paid off during the term, which is in this particular question is a 5 year. This question is from chapter 14 of the real estate exam book. Okay, so now question before we actually solve it. Okay, so the question is saying a borrower has arranged a 159,900 mortgage at a J12 equal 12% with 25-year amortization period, and the term is 5 years. Okay, so these are the very important key points that we need to look at it. Okay, so now what is 159,000? That is the actual mortgage that was borrowed. What was the interest rate? It was 12%. What was the period frequency? It was month based on months. The amortization period was a 20-year, and the term was a 5 years. So we need to find what was the principal paid off. So basically what they're asking, whenever you borrow a money for anything, in this question is particularly about mortgage. Okay, so your overall payment is comprised of interest plus your principal. Interest is the money that goes towards the bank, and principal is your actual money that is taken off from your whatever you borrow it from. Okay. So interest rate, it depends on whatever, interest is based on interest rate. More the interest rate, more interest rate will be taken out from your monthly payment. So now I will show you the steps that you need to put that into your calculator, and I will also show you which keys you are going to use uh, on the calculator. Okay, so now on your study guide solutions from the UBC book, you will see a different answers, different solutions. The way I have done, I don't have a different keys when I enter. So I always start with, sometimes, okay, let me show you what was on the UBC book. So IVR, okay, that was the key entered. And I always press a shift knob. So basically, you won't forget what to do. Some question they do IVR, sometimes they don't, but I have seen I always stick with one, and literally I always had a right answer. Okay, so I'm going to do here is a J12 equal 12%. Okay, the 12% is your norm, and your 12 is your PVR. Okay, is it write things down, whatever is a given, it makes life really easier when you insert them into a calculator. So your PV is 159,900. Your amortization period N is equal to 25, and your term is equal to 5 years. Very important when the term is given. Please make sure you read this particular part if it's given. If it's given, calculations are done a little bit differently. So now we are dealing with a monthly payment. So that means I need to look into what is a J given under what is the period frequency. It's already given as a J12. If it was other than a J12, for example, they said is a J2, J4, anything, then we do need to do the conversions. Right now we don't, because we're doing a monthly payment and it's a J12. Okay, so let's do the steps on the calculator. So what I will do 12, shift the norm key, 1%, 12, shift the PVR. Okay, then I always press effective, shift effective. Okay, NPE is, that's how you can remember the way you will be entering. Make sure you press a shift before all of them. Okay. And then we are going to insert a verb. Always follow the sequence, like from this that way, so you don't forget. If let's say you entered PV before N, that's okay. As long as you're entering everything, your answer will be right. Okay. So now I prefer to enter them in intervals. It just kind of helps me to track what I did. But this will help you to track. If you write things down, it will help you track. Okay, so now 159,900. It's your PV. That's the key. Okay, no, don't need to press the shift key, just the PV right there. 25 times 12 is your N. Okay, 0 is the future value. Nothing is given for the future. And then we are going to press the payment key. This will give us what is the payment. Okay, being one input, 6 shift the amount key, which is right above your FB key. Okay, and then we press the equal sign. Okay, and I will just show you on calculator how that works out. Okay. All right, so let's start the calculator. Always please make sure you clear out everything. Okay, I have a habit doing shift to clear, and I always do memory clear. I always do that. Okay, maybe once or twice, probably sometimes. Okay, so we're going to start with all of our steps. So I did 12 shift nom, 12 shift PVR, shift effective. Okay, then I'm going to do 159,900. That is our PV. 25 times 12 is our N. Why did we multiply it by 12? Because we are talking about, here if you look at here, it's a monthly. So your year, your term year has to be converted into months as well. This is 12 year. Your amortization periods is 25 years. So we need to do based on number of months in those 25 years. So the way to achieve it, multiply by 12. Okay, so we did that. Now my J12 is done. I did my PV. I entered my N. Okay, I'm not entering my N now. N is for just particular term. That's where we are going to use it when we're finding the outstanding balance, because the question says find the principal that was paid off during a 5-year term. Okay, here your term has nothing to do with the overall payment. In order to figure out your overall payment, we go based on your amortization period. Okay, when we're finding the actual payment, how much the payment will be. Not based on a 5-year term. If you're doing based on 5-year, your parents will be a big number. Okay, so now we did that. Now we are going to do a payment. Okay, this is 1,684.11 cents. Okay, now we found that. Okay, in order to find your principal, we need to store this one back to the payment. So we are going to do plus minus key. You don't need to, just press a payment again. So what this function does, it will store the value of a payment into this key. Okay? Or sometimes you will see a question when the payment is given. You put the payment, put the minus key, and then press the payment key. Okay? We just calculated. Now we have to store that back into the payment. So we have to press the payment key again to store the value into the payment. So that part is done. Now question comes to how much principal was paid off. So that is something we have to use the mode key right here. So 1 input 60 shift amount. So question is, why did I press a 1 input 60? Because the question said how much principal paid off during the 5 years. During the 5 years, so 1 to 60 months. That's where that 60 is coming from. They did give us a 5-year. But 5 years are equivalent to how many months? 60 months. So that's why we have to put 1 input 60 to find that out. So we did that. Now, then you press the equal key. So when I pressed the equal key with 1 equal, it will give us 6950.88 cents. Okay. If you see at the very top, see right here, it says a principal. That means this is the principal was paid off during 5 years. If you press one more time equal key, then you will see is $94,095.72. Okay, so this is interest. That's how much interest you paid. And then if I press one more time equal key, sorry, these are the two things, last things I'm doing it extra just to help you out if that's what they ask you to do it. All right. So now this is the balance. Okay, so that's the balance. So question is how much principal was paid off during the 5-year principal. This is how much was the principal was paid off during 5 year. What if they ask you what was the interest rate? How much was the interest rate paid during those 5 years? That was $94,095. And what if they ask you what is the balance after 5 years? Then this is the balance. Okay, so now maybe you might be thinking why my interest rate is more than my principal. If you look at the interest rate, it's the 12%. So more the interest rate is, higher the interest you will be paying. Okay, so yeah, I hope this question makes sense to you. In the next video, I will be discussing how do you calculate the amount of the 3 months of interest penalty. Stay tuned. This is the video. I will do it tomorrow.